and welcome to the AAU TV Mid-Week News, and we are coming to you from the headquarters of the Association of African Universities in Okyere, Ghana. My name is Lydia Nyame. With me are
Jemima, Deladem, Dotsey.
And my name is Agyemang, Okyere, Darko.
And now the headlines on higher education. TVET training to learn new pedagogy to refresh their skills. And again, review could lead to program cuts at university.
And in our health news, leisure physical activity linked to health benefits than work activity. And also eating more fruits and vegetables linked to less stress, steady finds.
And in our tech news, we find that the Niger drone company takes off in Sahel. Thanks so much for making time to watch us today on AAU TV Mid-Week News. Don't go anywhere, we'll bring you more on health, higher education and tech news. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome to GTP Health and Safety Corner. If you feel like stepping out, remember social distancing. You might just save a life. Rock at home, stay safe. Wash your hands with soap and running water. Spaced out but still in touch. Check in on your loved ones and stay safe. GTP, timeless.
Welcome back from the break. And an estimated 3,000 tutors at various technical and vocational education and training colleges in Kenya are expected to go back to school for refresher courses as part of new reform strategies. And vocational education training colleges in Kenya are expected to undergo a reskilling exercise aimed at improving teaching standards at technical institutions and will include fresh training and internship programs in an effort to boost the quality of education. In some universities, tutors trained were lacking in most of the equipment currently used at the technical training institutions. Hence, the teachers needed further training. This gap was noticed during the transition to competency-based education training, during which most tutors were unable to use the new equipment that had been acquired by the technical training institutions. TVET former Principal Secretary Julius Juan said that most of the tutors had mastered only the technical aspects of their training, but did not know how to teach what they had learned. He mentioned that tutors must learn pedagogy, which is a method and practice of how to teach in order to impact their skills of the students. He further added that TVET Authority had given the tutors a 2-year grace period to gain pedagogical skills. If not, they will be barred from teaching. Well, that's an amazing quality approach to enhance skill development in TVET institutions in Kenya. But I want to find out why competency-based education and training, that's the CBET, is a appropriate qualification framework in assessing tutors and their students.
First of all, I will applaud TVET for taking up such a step because there's been gap in TVET for some time now.
Yeah.
But right now, I'll say what makes the competency-based education and training appropriate in assessing our tutors and our students are these three things. I'll talk about the skill, the knowledge, and I'll talk about attitude.
Okay.
Because it even shows in UNESCO's definition for TVET, where they said it's an education and training which helps to develop one's skills and knowledge for employment.
Okay.
And it's, you know that a skill is something we know how to do or is something we are developing to do. And if you are not skilled enough, you know, you can't be able to pass on information or let me say something you have learned to people. So as a tutor, you have learned, but the ability, you know, your ability to share with your students what you have learned is a skill you need to develop.
Okay.
And to climax it all, let me talk about the attitude. You know, your attitude, you know, with your attitude, you should be able to avail yourself to learn. Your attitude in availing oneself to learn is very important. As I said earlier, if you haven't availed yourself to learn your skill, to learn what you are being taught in class, as I said, you can't pass it on to your students.
Okay, Agyemang.
Well, sure. I think I appreciate the quality audit that was made in the Kenyan technical institutions for them to understand the need for there to be a transition from whatever system we're using to a competency-based education training. And I want to share some of the things that really go into the CBET system.
Okay.
First of all, Jemima has mentioned that it's all about the development of skill, the knowledge and attitude.
Exactly.
But furthermore to this is the development of skill, basically.
Exactly.
That we should be able to acquire more skills and grow in that skill.
Yeah.
More importantly, we have to advance in that skill to be masters,
Exactly.
to pioneers of the said skill. And more importantly, with the CBET framework, there is a specified learning objective. So unlike any other framework where it could be various, with CBET, it is very specific with what skill you are acquiring and how to master that skill. And finally, a more differentiated instructional support, which is quite effective with the use of assessment. So we don't only just teach you or you then acquire skills. We also assess you on how to practically exhibit that skill for us to now know that you've mastered. So basically, the CBET is the appropriate model for TVET learning in Kenya, and it should be transcended to every part of Africa.
Yeah, that's true.
If not yet.
That's true. You know, according to the former principal secretary for TVET, Julius Joan, he wants tutors to learn pedagogy first, which is the method and practice of how to teach. And he wants these tutors to be able to impact the skills they have to students. What do you make of what his statements?
I think for a very long time, people have been complaining that some tutors have understanding of the theory, but it's quite hard for them to tell or teach it very well. So it means that there's a problem with the mode of learning. And this all boils down to the pedagogy, the teaching method or the practice.
Exactly.
So let's look out for what is the best pedagogy for a TVET institution, a typical one. I don't think that for the kind of environment TVET finds itself and the kind of people we are training who are very skill-oriented and practical at what they do, you shouldn't go there reading books to them and reading books.
Exactly.
I think we should be doing more of
practicality,
more of practice-based, project-based.
Exactly.
Do this, execute this, project. So I remember back then in school when a lecturer comes there and says, okay, I want you all to sit in groups of 10. Then this is the concept. Discuss this concept and then present to the class.
Exactly.
For me, that was the very best way to learn. I understood things better when the teacher shared his role or her role with us to play the role of a teacher and now teach the class. It made us feel that it's a responsibility for us to get the right information because what we share will be the definite one. And that, I think, is the best pedagogy for even a non-TVET environment. Not even talk of a TVET environment, which is more, bring the tools to the classroom. Show them how to use it. And then let them do it. I think they get it better.
I completely agree with you because myself, I think the best experience I had in my lecture halls and in my studies in university was when lecturers practicalized what we were learning. Like you said, there were courses that we could be grouped into groups of 3. You'll be given a specific project. You go outside to work on it on your own. You do whatever it takes to get it done. And trust me, after you've gone through all these processes, you would know that now you know every single step to what you've done. The practical aspect of our education is more important than just the writing. So I think if tutors are going to practicalize what they teach more, it would impact students a lot.
You know, I would side with Julius Joan because oftentimes teachers, or let me say our tutors, have actually mastered what they want to teach us. But, you know, standing in front of the board to teach, you know, delivering is just something else. If you don't have the skill and, you know, the ability to do it, you can't do it. For instance, let me quote a research from Heiss as far back as 1975. And then he said, teaching is only teaching if people can take on what is taught. So you can only teach when you have actually taken, you know, what you have learned or what you've been taught to people. And let me also share my experience in the university class. I really love presentations, and there was, you know, one lecturer who actually, you know, mostly would want us to present. Our course is really practical. He shares us into groups because sometimes we need more people. So sometimes the group is as large as 10 because we need a company from the group. We need a CEO and all that. And, you know, let me say, you being a CEO and you're coming to present for your company that is in the class, you feel like it is your company, you are doing what the job market needs you to do, which is very good. I think it helped me a lot.
Yeah, it's true, because I mean, this particular initiative would better tutors, and I think it shouldn't be limited to just TVET institutions. Universities can also adapt it. Exactly, because I mean, sometimes you find yourself in a lecture hall and you realize the lecturer is teaching, but you really do not get anything. The lecturer possesses all the knowledge, but delivering it is not an easy task. So this training, I believe, would help the lecturers even with their delivery and stuff. Yeah.
But Lydia, let me just add that, you know, it's not a one-size-fits-all affair here.
Okay.
I mean, every pedagogy can be deployed. It depends on the situation you find yourself.
Okay.
So situational-wise, if you find the concept you're about to teach, if it calls for calling for groups, it works.
Yeah,
it calls for reading, well,
exactly.
It calls for bringing something real and then doing a practical thing, it works.
So,
So
you know,
I think we have to assess.
even with the reading courses, there are a lot of ways a lecturer can present it. Exactly.
Yeah,
a lecturer would come to class and read the entire chapter, but some lecturers even divide the lines among the students. I mean, there are a lot of ways to approach every single course. Yeah. Well, still on higher education, a new comprehensive review of all programs offered by University of Rwanda could lead to the phasing out of some courses deemed irrelevant to the labor market, while others could be either improved or merged. The University of Rwanda, as part of their quality control mechanism, has undertaken a comprehensive review of all programs offered by its universities, which they believe could lead to the elimination of some courses deemed irrelevant to the labor market. This comes after the number of students in some programs kept on dwindling, said Dr. Emily Bienvenue, the acting Deputy Vice-Chancellor of Academics and Research in the University of Rwanda. In an exclusive interview with the University World News, she stated that it is true that some programs have a high number of students and others with lower numbers, and some that have even fewer students. Bienvenue said the main reason was that some of the programs did not match with the labor market. She mentioned that some of the programs offered at the university are good and relevant to the market, while other programs are not. And that is the reason behind the decision to undertake a comprehensive review of all programs offered at the University of Rwanda. Bienvenue added that there are non-STEM courses and programs that still need a larger number of students, such as interpretation and event management, because the country is a tourism and events destination, as well as law programs that currently attract more students. Well, that's another quality management approach right there, and it's coming from Rwanda. But I want to find out what the essence of this review of all programs is to student employability.
You know, times have changed, and reviewing programs will see to it that there is an improvement in our quality or in our quality higher education.
Exactly.
And which is geared towards employment. You know, every course, or let me say every program has its significance. But the fact that the labor market does not, you know, require such, or let me say does not require this particular person because he or she studied this particular program, does not mean it is, you know, it is not important or it is not accepted. I think merging or reviewing the programs will also help to fit in the labor market so that every student will be able to, you know, get the job, you know, get the skill on the job market.
Exactly, Agyemang.
You know, there's this popular song that people are singing on the market. Employers are singing this song.
Okay, what's the song?
It is like this. You come with a certificate and say, you don't have the skill for the job.
I actually thought you were going to sing
the song. Exactly.
I'm disappointed.
Well, I'm just saying that it's something that's everywhere. I mean, everybody sings that tune, that your skills are not adequate for the job. And graduates are getting fed up with this tune. That what do you mean that my skill is not adequate for the job? I spent 4 years in university studying a program, and I'm told I'm not fit for the job. What exactly is there that I cannot do?
Yeah.
So this brings us to the point that employability is solely about we changing with the time. No, we have to move with the trend. If you're a university in Africa and you are not doing your research to ensure that what is marketable on the market, you would, first of all, you're not even get students to come to university because we all want to be there. So before I apply, I know which job I want to do and which school has that program. Go with the days when we had so many humanities programs.
Yeah.
Today, gradually, humanity programs are phasing out.
Exactly.
Leaving out for more commercial ones. If I say commercial, I mean quite business-oriented programs because of the private sector and it's growing.
Yeah.
In this case, as a university, you ought to do your reviews, which is a very important quality mechanism, in order to get the very marketable ones, to get most and also to create more room for them to be employed. The chances for employment to be high for them.
Well, you know, for me, I think it is quite sad when you come to our various institutions because Ghana, for instance, students complete from secondary cycle education, and in their quest to enrolling in a university, they apply and they end up being given courses they did not even apply for. You ask yourself why. There are courses that are not relevant on our university campuses, but they need people to acquire them. They need people to just they need people to just occupy that space. Therefore, they just post anybody there. They just assign the course to students who did not even apply for it. And they just can't do anything about it because they need to enroll. The courses are not available, so you just manage. Such a student will enroll in the school, will enroll, study for 4 years, and come out as an irrelevant student. Someone who won't be relevant on the job market.
Well, I think that the word relevance and irrelevance, they are too harsh for them.
Agyemang, I mean, like, no, honestly, I think we should be real with ourselves.
Well, I think
we should be real with ourselves.
I think that in place of relevance, we should say marketability. Relevance means that since the very first day,
well, that's if you want to sugarcoat it. But if you want to talk about reality,
remember, 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
Okay.
That same program that is irrelevant now, you claim was relevant now, was what was needed at
I really
time.
do not want to mention any names of programs. So.
No, don't mention programs. Those
Exactly.
times, 20 years ago, those were the programs that were hotcakes. They were needed by the
now
state.
there is development.
So
Why
now,
don't we go
I
with
think
it?
now we will say that the demand for such people in that profession or with that qualification is dwindling. It means that when times change, you change with it. Say, I can't prove that embedded and that be.
So
So if times change, you change with it. So you have to do your research with the relevant stakeholders and ensure that whatever program you are opening is of charge. I mean, it has demand on the market.
Like I said, sometimes the students do not have any control over it. You apply to universities and you are given courses that you don't even know what you're going to end up doing with it. But you have to enroll.
But the thing is, it's not like when you are applying, you don't choose a course. You actually choose a course. But because, you know, the number in that class is full, or let's say your grade is not good, you're just giving a course that, you know, you least expect.
No, you can not blame the university for that.
But,
it is your qualification
you
that
can't
fell
blame the
below
university.
The threshold. Doesn't mean that the university has to go on the programs or all their programs are molded.
We never said all their programs are molded. We are concerned about students who enroll and are given non-marketable courses.
Well, because we can't give you anything else. But you know, the most important thing is that we should understand that the university activity of reviewing programs sometimes is done in a very, let me say, confidential way. But I think it's about time that they open up. No, this is more of a multi-stakeholder approach. We have so many institutions which are responsible for this. We can't talk about program review without the accreditation board, without even the industry players, the CEOs, who are players within these same fields. And even sometimes students themselves, student representatives are even sometimes invited on the table to discuss why this program has to be scrubbed off and why this program has to be roped in. And I think when everyone understands this, it would help people to better appreciate the programs that are being offered by the universities and what informed those programs to be roped in.
Okay, I was quite glad when you mentioned the accreditation board. Let's find out what their role is in program review and deployment.
I think the name's accreditation is one very important word, a very authoritative word. It means that before you can bring a program on board, they have to give you that, they have to accredit you, that you have the right to now deploy this program in your institution. But before we can accredit you, there are so many things we have to see you have. First of all, the human resource capacity. Do you have the right kind of people with the right kind of qualification to teach this course very well? Or else we'll be just going around in circles. Do you have the infrastructure to man this course? Do you have the equipment, if it is that practical, to help students understand? Because they're going to pay for it. All of these are parts of the process. And even the sustainability. How sustainable will the program be? Has it got marketability? Has it got demand? I think that work partly or more is done by the accreditation board.
Okay, let's quickly talk about this. I mean, how appropriately should this review be done? What comes first and what follows?
I think first of all, research.
Okay.
You know, research would tell you everything and make you understand what is on the labor market. Research will be able to tell you what the labor market wants, the kind of people they want in their organizations, their company. And I think through that, programs can be geared towards the, you know, employee, you know, the office requirement.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Agyemang?
Yeah, I think Jemima mentioned that we need to do the research, which is not really encouraged in Africa.
Okay.
R&D, which we call the research and development, because you research to find the gap, and then you add it to what is existing, so you develop.
Okay.
But we don't research, so we can't develop. So it's R and then D. If you don't do the R, you can't
do
D.
the D.
So
That's
we
true.
need to do more research so we can develop more on our courses inside and also expand them if possible.
Well, if you don't do the R, you can't do the D. So definitely research before you can develop. Health news is up next.
So in our health news today, the first large study showing that leisure time physical activity and occupational physical activity are opposite and independent associations with cardiovascular disease and longevity. A new study shows that leisure time physical activity and occupational physical activity have opposite and independent associations with cardiovascular disease and longevity. The World Health Organization recommends physical activity during both recreation and work to improve health. Previous studies have suggested that occupational activity is related to an increased risk for heart disease and mortality, but have not been too small to fully explain whether this was due to the manual work or because employees had unhealthy lifestyle or low socioeconomic status. This study included 104,046 women and men aged 20 to 100 years from the general population study with baseline measurements in 2003 to 2014. Compared to low leisure time physical activity, after adjustments for age, sex, lifestyle, health, and education, moderate, high, and very high activity were associated with 26%, 41%, and 40% reduced risk of early death, respectively. In contrast, compared to low work activity, high and very high activity were associated with 13% and 27% increased risks of death, respectively. This is very interesting, but you know, my question is that can your job environment, you know, contribute to your life stress?
Well, I will start by saying, I mean, someone just told me that. So I've been walking to work every day.
Okay.
I think I exercise more than everybody because I walk to work.
Wow.
It's like, don't ever deceive yourself that because you walk to work, you exercise.
Exactly.
You are killing yourself.
That's true.
I think that sometimes your work environment can actually contribute more to your stressed self and cause you to get so much of, I mean, disorders than what you can do in your leisure time.
Yeah.
When you're working, your brain is tuned to work. And whenever you try to accomplish something more than what your energy could afford you, that is stress, basically. Stress.
Okay.
And stress is one big canker to yourself, your body, weakens your body, weakens your mind, and can open more rooms for you to get more infections.
That's true.
Exactly.
But as you can see, some work environments are very stressful.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't want to mention some work environment, but if you're doing a job that demands so much of energy each and every day, waking up early in the morning, coming home very late, all of these are very stressful moments in time. You can't even rest or have fun with yourself.
Exactly.
And the joy you need on the work is not there.
It's not there.
So I think that I would want to express that one later on.
Okay.
You know,
Lydia.
Jemima, I personally don't think it is how packed your work is. I think it's more about the working conditions you find yourself in. Your work may be packed, but when you go to some organizations, they provide luxury. And not so much, like when I say luxury, I'm not talking of the luxury that you're probably thinking about. Some organizations provide transport for their staff,
Yeah.
where they drive to pick them if not from their homes, at a bus stop, it releases that stress. Because trust me, when you wake up in the morning, walking to pick a commercial bus, to come to work sweating and all, it's even stressful. And you are going to have to add that to the stress you get from your workplace. In some organizations, I mean, how your superiors even relate to you. Because imagine you are doing all those huge workloads and your superior is on your neck almost all the time, even when they don't have to. You know, it makes you so stressed. So for me, I think it is not just about what you do at work, but the conditions surrounding you.
And I will also talk about, you know, the people we surround ourselves with. When you are in a work environment and then, you know, you are just not cool with yourself, you know, or cool with someone, you know, it gives you that tension when you are sitting in the office. Because every time when you come to the office, you will see the person, or you will see people that you are not exactly. So your mind is just not stable to do what you want to do, and I think it affects our work environment.
It really does affect.
But then I want to know what your ideal work environment is.
I think Agyemang should take that.
I was waiting for this one.
Okay.
You know, with the ideal work environment is that work environment that you are able to explore more into yourself.
Exactly.
When I say explore into yourself, it means that the work is such that you are given the room to bring out express your ingenuity, your creativity, your innovativeness. You are not being bound to any routine. No routine kills.
Exactly.
Doing one thing over and over again can actually kill you. But you giving the room to express yourself and also bring your own innovation makes you feel much more relevant and important. And that alone is one can clear away stress, because you can now feel free to explore more and share more. And beyond that room for expression, it has some sort of ideal and more fun-packed. You know, I remember those days at Unilever, let me say, where, you know, there were well-being moments where we have 5 minutes to just do some stretch-outs. And there's a gym where you can just, after work, 30 minutes, go and then do some push-ups and treadmill walks. And all of these play in to make the work environment much more of a livelier one. And you have some very model ones like Google. I mean, they have everything. It's like a work at home, giving you the room to feel free and work. Why would you be stressful in a place like that? Because you are being allowed to feel free and bring out the best in you. That's the ideal one.
And I think Agyemang has said it all. Basically, that's all that I want to say. But I also want to say that at this point, we want to ask our viewers to share their
the ideal environment.
So the ideal environment with us.
All right.
So moving on, eating a diet rich in fruits and vegetables is associated with less stress, according to a new study. Eating a diet rich in fruits and vegetables is associated with less stress, according to new research from Edith Cowan University. The study examined the link between fruit and vegetable intake and stress levels of more than 8,600 Australians aged between 25 to 91 participating in the Australian Diabetes, Obesity and Lifestyle Study from Baker Heart and Diabetes Institute. The findings revealed people who ate at least 470 grams of fruit and vegetables daily had 10% lower stress levels than those who consumed less than 230 grams. The World Health Organization recommends eating at least 400 grams of fruit and vegetables per day. So according to Ms. Radavili Bagatini, we found that people who have higher fruit and vegetable intake are less stressed than those with lower intake, which suggests that diet plays a major role in our mental well-being. But my question is, what is your view on her statement?
Well, I perfectly agree with her. You know, a study was conducted in 2017 to find out how fruits and vegetables influence stress in humans. And it will surprise you the findings of the research. And at the end of the study, it was identified that people who take in fruit and vegetables frequently were less likely to be stressed. as compared to people who do not take in fruits and vegetables. For me, I think the benefit of fruits and vegetables has been said over and over and over again, especially on this show.
Yeah.
We talk about it basically every week. And fruits and vegetables is something that you wouldn't want to do away with it. It helps in a lot of ways.
Yeah, Agyemang.
Yeah, you know, fruit and vegetables have a lot of vitamins and minerals. I mean, for the human body.
Yeah.
Vitamin A, C, and E, and phosphorus, zinc, folic acid. You know, let me just mention folic acid. Folic acid is one food nutrient that is able to reduce blood levels. You know, people have high blood pressure.
Exactly.
If you're taking more fruits, research says that these folic acid components are able to reduce your blood levels, and therefore heart disorders are far from you.
Yeah.
So it is not wrong when I pluck, one of the grapes
of
here and get consumed.
Agyemang, that's not fair.
That's not
you
fair.
are
You
supposed
are
to slot
slotting
3.
on-
Because this is the best way to live. Every food you eat.
But you know, we
daily,
also have to live the same way.
you can have one for yourself. So I think that we have to understand that
Okay.
every food you eat in any day, you should have a component of fruits
Yes.
to balance it. I mean,
Yeah.
inflammation can cause heart disorders.
Yeah.
Be very careful.
Exactly.
So be very careful. Don't go anywhere as we bring you science and technology news after the short break.
Welcome to GTP Health and Safety Corner. If you feel like stepping out, remember social distancing. You might just save a life. Rock at home, stay at home, stay safe. Wash your hands with soap under running water. Spaced out but still in touch. Check in on your loved ones and stay safe. GTP, timeless.
To our tech segment, and Abdulaziz Kuduteche began drone business in Niger 10 years ago. He designs drones which are used by companies for a variety of tasks and is hoping to soon be able to transport medicines into rural areas.
Drones made in Niger. That's the business that Abdulaziz Kunche began 10 years ago. The entrepreneur and grandson of General and former Nigerian leader Sani Kunche is the founder of Drone Africa Service. It designs drones which are used by companies for a variety of tasks.
These are drones that are dedicated to mapping, particularly the context of risk in flood management, but also for agriculture. And we hope soon to be able to use them to transport objects.
The company is hoping to be able to transport medicine. Although the drones are designed and created in Niger's capital, Niamey, some of the materials, such as cameras, are brought in from abroad.
Everything that makes the drone operational is really designed here in Niger. The models, the drawings, the plans. What we bring from abroad would be everything that is resins, polymers, since these are products that cannot be found here.
The drones have another important use. Insurgencies have conducted deadly raids in the Sahel. Drones have made it possible to monitor remote areas where international aid groups can't always get to.
I'm talking about terrorism. So that, unfortunately, made remote monitoring more and more difficult. So solutions had to be found, particularly by using new technologies.
It's also designing drones for companies in Mali, Benin and Burkina Faso. The innovator's ambition is to train more designers and to create a drone academy this year.
So there we have it with the drones in Niger by Abdulaziz. But you know, these drones were used for military purposes, I mean, to survey areas if they were terrorists or not. But in our cases, what forms can we use these drones for, if not for military purposes? What other forms can we use these drones for to perhaps help the economy grow?
Well, you know, when drones came into existence at first, we mainly thought it was for photography alone, so people could just take really good pictures with it, but in videos. But right now, the relevance of drones have become more and more and more. In the healthcare, for instance, drones are used to deliver and transport medicines to various hospitals, to transport organs, to transport a whole lot of things, especially to areas that are hard to reach. and in times of need. You know, the Akufo-Addo government, for instance, was the first government to use drones in healthcare. Yeah. And I think that was a good one. Another one, too, is that drones are sent to places where it may be unsafe for humans to go there. Okay. The drones go there, survey the area, you see the loopholes, and then when the humans are entering, now they know what to expect.
Exactly. I think Lydia has said, but to add to it, you know, for delivery purposes, I know of Amazon and Google where they use drones to deliver tools and equipment to people, you know, to fasten or make it easy for accessibility and all that. So I think. Yeah, drones are good.
I mean, with time, drone is going to be a problem for delivery agencies because drones can deliver things at your doorstep. Exactly, much more faster.
Yeah, and it's going to...
I'm thinking about how it could more go into a productive sector like the agri sector. Okay. You know, drones can be used to plant seeds and also even irrigation, which we expect all these to come.
Exactly.
Well, that's true. Well, that is all for the news. And in wrapping up, let's take a quick recap of our headlines. In higher education, TVET trainers to learn new pedagogy to refresh their skills. And again, review could lead to program cuts at university.
And in our health news today, leisure physical activity linked to health benefits than work activity. And also eating more fruits and vegetables linked to less stress, steady finds.
And in our tech news, the Niger drone company takes off in the Sahel.
Thank you very much for staying with AAU TV News as we keep you informed, educated and entertained. My name is Lydia Nyame. With me are
Jemima, Deladem, Dotsey.
And my name is Agyemang. Thank you so much you made time to watch the AAU Mid-Week News. Keep watching our programs and be safe. Have a nice day and bye.